Hello, everyone. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Allison.
This is Nerd of the Week, a randomly generated fandom podcast. Allison started the countdown from 5 instead of 3 this time, and I was just thrown for a ride.
In all honesty, I was too. I don't know what I was doing, but 5...
I can tell you were like, 5? I guess we're starting at 5.
I was going to do something like a 5, 6, 7, 8, but then I started counting backwards because that's what I usually do when I start at 3, and the whole thing was just a mess. So
Chaos ensued.
So anyway, that's the energy we're bringing to this week's podcast. Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us again on this lovely whatever day of the week it is. Or whatever the Saturday is when you're probably listening to it, though it could be any day. Listen to our podcast any day.
It's a secret. We're recording on Thursday.
That's true. It is happening on a Thursday. Anywho's it. Generator, tell everyone what our fancy schmancy word is this week.
The word of the week is interactive.
Interactive.
I'll interact with you.
I have some solid pictures to describe to you once we
define this word.
Once we define this word.
Okay.
In this audio
I'll define
medium.
it quickly so that you can describe pictures in this audio media then. So I think interactive means a thing or activity that allows the user or viewer to participate in its production for enjoyment purposes.
Okay. I like yours better.
Thank you.
It's an adjective, and then in parentheses, before the definition starts, it goes, of two people or things, end parentheses, influencing is underlined, or having an effect on each other.
Okay.
Alternatively, allowing a two-way flow of information between a computer and computer user, responding to a user's input.
Okay, but like a conversation can be interactive. I guess that's the first definition.
Yeah, but like, I feel like a lot of things can be interactive that doesn't involve a computer.
Yeah.
I guess things is kind of incorporating everything, but like, unclear.
Yeah, I like mine better. Mine was not very clear either, but I think it's better than Google's this time. So we're going to put a point on the board for me. So I think...
One for Allison this time.
Yeah, that's like, 70 points for me, 2 for Google. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. I don't think we've had 70 episodes yet. It's fine.
So anyway, tell me these images, please.
These images. The second image, so it gives me 5 as like options to click on. But the second image is a white screen with a woman dressed all in black, staring blankly at you with like subtitle text that just says interactive.
Haunting. Okay.
And then the rest is various forms of clip art with people who look horridly confused at some sort of computer interface with bubbles or, like the 90s arcade floor vibe.
Yeah.
And that's just floating around them. And they're just like arms up, like, look at all these things that are like, it's not like they're
wait,
like,
isn't our podcast logo, doesn't it have those little squiggles around it too? Is our logo interactive?
Our logo is interactive.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. And then there's one with a guy, it's like a cartoon drawing, and he looks really excited, and then the computer screen has hands coming out of it trying to hug the man.
Aw, that's sweet.
Or mildly creepy, especially if you've seen the movie The Ring. But anyway.
Okay. See, that's what the vibe I was kind of getting with the first one you described, with the woman just staring at you.
Yeah, well, I mean, she was just staring into the void, and it was concerning.
Creepy. I don't like that. Don't like that at all. Let's get this image out of my brain before it becomes reality.
All right, so I'm gonna bring a YouTube series created by Markiplier.
Okay.
Called A Heist with Markiplier.
Okay.
It is a choose your own adventure video movie, which is why it's interactive because you can click your way through.
Okay.
And each, it starts with.
Please explain this YouTuber first.
Okay, so Markiplier he started off as a Let's Player. He got really big.
Meaning that
right around
he
the
would
time.
stream video
Play
games?
video games.
Okay.
Yeah, so he'd play video games and comment on them and he typically, I like him because he does a lot of horror video games, and I love the horror genre, but I cannot play them because I will not move forward in the game.
Okay.
I know the jump scare's coming and I don't want it, so I watch Mark play them so that I don't have to. And then he got really big with like Five Nights at Freddy's and Amnesia. Amnesia, I think, is the big one, but both of those two games kind of like skyrocketed him because they kind of became cult classics, and he got big with them. And then he has branched off into doing more than just Let's Plays. He has kind of his own like lore series with Darkiplier, which is the evil Mark.
Oh, you've told me about that before.
Yeah, and Wharf Stash, which is kind of like this odd guy who kind of looks like a 70s safari hunter, but everything he wears is pink, and he has like this bright pink mustache. And so he's got kind of this like lore world that he's building with his series, and he's had one similar. He's done this a couple of times. Heist was his first like real big production, but he's done A Date with Markiplier, which was like a shorter version of this, where you were going on a date with him and then chaos ensues. And then he had Who Killed Markiplier, which was kind of the background story to the lore of his world and like how Darkiplier came into being and who Damien is and all this other stuff. And then his newer one that came out, I think, 2 years ago or last year was In Space with Markiplier, which is like double the size of Heist with Markiplier.
Wow.
Which this man does not know how to stop. And now he's making a movie.
Okay.
Like a legit, like going to see it in theaters movie.
Whoa.
Which
Like with a studio or just like self?
With a studio.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. And he said that space helped him figure out how to be a director for this, And so he took an indie video game called Iron Lung that he absolutely loved. And he is very much into space too. So that's a lot of the reason I stuck with continuing to watch him, because he picks up a lot of the space games. And he took Iron Lung and the concept of it and then is turning it into a big movie. And he keeps saying it's almost done, but who knows? But there isn't a release date just yet, but I'm stoked because I'm going to go see it on opening night. Like, I'm so ready to support this man in everything. And I have been watching this guy for like some godforsaken number of years and
undisclosed years.
many of them, basically since Amnesia came out, so however long ago that was. And so I unabashedly love this guy and I like all of his work, and I'm stoked to see that he's branching out into other things. But anyway, so we're going to come back to Heist, because
yes, let's focus in.
Space is a little bit too big to get into, and Heist was his kind of first magnum opus, but just divine. So Mark always stars in his own stuff, but it's
as
the character,
do.
As one does, especially YouTubers, right? And but Mark is a character. Mark, it's separate from like Markiplier. This guy is just Mark.
Is it Markiplier like multiplier? Like, is that what he's going for? Or is Applier his last name? Like, what's going on here with this? I'm so sorry.
His name is Mark Fishbach. He
also
is
a cool name. Come on.
Yeah, he's half Korean, half German, and he is his first YouTube channel was like Mark Plays Games or something like that he forgot the password to.
Bad name anyway.
And he couldn't get into it. And then Mark Plier kind of just happened. And from what I understand, because like he's given a couple of explanations to it, but like it was just something he just like went, okay, many marks or pliers, or like there's a bunch of different jokes that he puts out. But functionally, it was just kind of a name he came up with because he couldn't get into his first YouTube account.
Okay.
And then Markiplier now exists, but his actual name is Mark Fishbach. And he is, he wrote Heist, directed it, and then is starring in it, as most YouTubers tend to do. But I think Rooster Teeth also helped produce this video as well, or this series of videos. I don't know if you know who Rooster Teeth is, but Rooster Teeth.
I've heard of them.
They did Red vs. Blue and like the Halo characters and turned it into a whole lore.
Oh, I don't know what that is. That's too much. That's too much for me right now.
They were very big when Mark was getting big too, like 10 years ago on YouTube, and then they turned into a whole another thing with movies, and they have Ruby RWBY, an animation series.
I've heard of that. Yes.
Yeah, so they're rather large, and I suspect Mark knows people in there because you're in this industry, you just run into people. But
okay, touch point for me. Do you think he knows Rhett and Link from Good Mythical Morning?
1000%.
Okay.
Yes.
They're like my YouTube shows / they want to get into show business kind of duo that I know.
Yeah, so he has to 1000% know these guys.
Okay.
He also knows, I've told you about them, but Game Grumps with Dan Avedon and Aaron Hansen, Matthew Patrick from Game Theory, Rosanna Pansino, who's the tiny Italian woman who does all the cooking stuff with like the cute nerdy, I think it's like Nerdy Nummies or something like that, and she makes video games into cakes and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, so he has a lot of those. And then Ethan Nestor is also, they did Unis Honest together, which is a whole nother thing that maybe I'll talk about one time, but it still hurts. So
oh my, okay.
We'll get to Unis Honest eventually.
Let us now journey.
Let us now journey into a heist.
Back to where we're supposed to be from my derailment. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It gives context. And this is going to be rather short because it's describing all the different options you can go down. So it gives more context. But so you are Mark's assistant. And he basically is talking to the camera like it is you. So you are responding to him, and sometimes the camera will like nod its head, or like you'll both look. It's very comical and self-aware, but like something will happen that's bad, you'll both look, and then you'll come back and like stare at each other, and shenanigans ensuing.
Cute.
But you guys are breaking into a museum to steal a MacGuffin, basically. It's like this ancient box that's locked in a vault that supposedly does something.
Okay.
And is worth a lot of money. And a series of ridiculous escapades lead them to getting 2 keys that are required to get into the vault. And Mark goes to grab the box, and he's like, look, we did it, we got it. And the alarm goes off because we messed up somehow. And then this is the first option that you get to choose, and you can either go out guns blazing, or you can do it nice and sneaky like, and you can try to sneak out nice and sneaky like.
Okay.
And so if you go out all sneaky like, you go down into the sewers, and then you have 2 options. There is a dark path and a light path, and Mark's kind of like, the dark path, we can't really see anything. I don't know, that's the best choice, but like, I'm with you, buddy, let's go. And so then you can either go down the light tunnel or the dark tunnel. And if you go down the light tunnel, you end up in the middle of an ocean where you guys get abducted by pirates. And you kind of make some choices from there based on if you want to hang out with pirates forever and get buried gold, or if you want to I think it's kind of a Pirates reference, like Pirates of the Caribbean reference, with golden treasure and like getting it, but then you run into aliens, or I think there's a cannibal. Oh yeah, Matt Pat's a cannibal.
Oh no,
sorry. It's kind of all over the place because like I went through this like a bajillion times and like things kind of jump around, especially because there's 30 endings with a 31st secret ending.
oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's intense. It's super fun and very silly, and all the endings are so different from each other.
Wow. Okay.
I have the like map up trying to follow it because someone made like here's the like branching path that you can go to. So if you go down the light tunnel, you can either wait for rescue or row home because you end up in the ocean. And then if you wait for rescue, you have the options of joining the pirates or being abducted by aliens who are Aaron Hansen and Don Avedon. If you choose to try to row home, you can find shelter, like you end up on an island and you can find shelter, or you build a sign which causes like I believe you run into like a boat or something, like you have a sign like help and then like you die and then the ending is like not again or something like that. And so then you get zooped back. And every ending, the MacGuffin, it's like honestly, it looks like a box that you get a thing of wine out of, but each ending, the box does something different, but then they all kind of warp you back to the all sneaky like decision or going out guns blazing decision.
Okay.
And then you can go down another pathway.
Smart.
But
Keeps you engaged. Yeah, he knew how to keep the views up.
Yeah. If you choose to stay on the island and try to find a shelter, you have two options where you can enter a cave or run away. And this is the cannibal. This is Matt Pat. And he was like chewing up the scenery and was going on about like eating bones and eating the meat. And like it's like heavily, everything he says is like an innuendo for being a cannibal.
Okay.
But a couple of the options, one does involve you getting like bonked over the head and then like implied eating. And then the other one is like a don't judge a book by a cover. And it's just like, he's really nice and offers you like a really nice meal.
Oh, okay.
So they're all over the place. And then if we go back to Sneaky Lake and then we go down the dark tunnel, every option is split up or don't split up. And so you have option one is split up and don't split up. And Mark like really doesn't want you to split up. And if you choose to go and split up, you actually can run into Darkiplier. And Darkiplier tells you that Mark is a tricksy bastard and he has hidden a 31st ending from you, and all of the other endings has a secret code in it, and that you have to get all the codes so that you can plug it in. It's plug it into a website to get the last ending.
Oh, okay.
And then it implies that like Mark is hiding something from you that, like, how did you end up here? How are you his assistant? This is another one of his shenanigans that's going to get all his friends killed kind of situation. And then, if you choose not to split up, then you keep getting options of like, don't split up or split up. Every time the deaths get more ridiculous if you choose to split up. Like one of the endings is literally, "Are you serious?" ? And I think you get eaten by like an alligator or something.
Oh my.
And then there's a sewer cult, and then you the final, like, if you don't split up the entire way through, you find a wormhole that gets you back to the beginning of the heist. And then you jump over to Guns Blazing. And so going out Guns Blazing is Mark finds a bomb. Oh, that's part of the bit too is with the Mark being like, all right, we can go out all sneaky like or guns blazing. And if you choose all sneaky like, the bomb that's like, it's a comical, like cartoon drawn bomb with like a sparkler. He goes, oh, okay. And then just puts it back in his pocket. And then it's fine now. But if he chooses the bomb, then he's like, all right, let's go. And then he like chucks the bomb. And there's a series of shenanigans where you're trying to escape suppose like the security guards, and then there's police, and then they're like, all right, what's the getaway plan? And you can choose between a helicopter or a car.
Okay.
If you choose the helicopter, it doesn't work. Because I believe they just had a helicopter as a prop, so they couldn't actually fly the helicopter. Then the joke is, why would we grab the helicopter? And then you're arrested and you get thrown into a rehab prison.
Oh my.
And you're separated from Mark, but you are with some guards and played by several of his friends, Bob and Wade. And
those are great names.
Mm-hmm. And there's a couple other guys in here that they've hired on specifically for this role who have played in a bunch, like in Who Killed Markiplier and those kind of things. But you try to you can either become friends with the guards or you can become friends with the prisoners. And Yancey speaks with like a yassy kind of accent, like a Boston, like gangster accent, which is sublime. Also played by Mark, but is not Mark.
Oh, okay.
And one of the endings is you can choose, because like Yancey starts to figure out that you're trying to escape, and he's like, why would you want to break out of this place? And breaks into song, and there's a whole musical number called I Don't Want to Be Free, which, oh, chef's kiss. I was crying laughing so hard the first time I ran into it. And he's just like, why would you want to break out? I'd have to be 100 air if I could like survive out in the outside world. And you can become friends with him and be like, thanks, but I do also want to get out of here. And he's like, all right, I'll help you sneak out. But if you say like, no thanks, he's like, you basically get chivved and then die.
Oh.
Then if you decide to choose the car, you have functionally like an Indiana Jones route out, and then or you have like a zombie apocalypse situation based on, because like the car breaks down and then you have two options, the walking or try to fix the car. And if you try to fix the car, you go out doing like an Indiana Jones style cave rescue where you go and like find the Macguffin again, and Mark's like straight up dressed like Indiana Jones. I think he's a different name as well, but it's very wild. And then Rosina Pansino is in the walking ending where you get attacked by a horde of zombies and you're bit by a zombie. And so you have to, you have the option to lie to Mark about being bit by a zombie, or you have the option to tell the truth. If you tell the truth, Mark lets you bite him, and then you're friends in the in the unlife as zombies together roaming the countryside.
Aw.
And then if you say you're fine, then you have either the soldier or the scientist. And the scientist is Rosina Pansino, and she gives you two options involving a cure. But as she's discussing the cure, you have like you like are doing the last stand, like whether or not you stay behind to help them get out. If you choose the soldier, you end up like walking down a road, and there's this wild ending where you have to pick between a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or a tuna fish sandwich.
Ew.
And the tuna fish sandwich leads to you going back in time to like 17 AD and creating a human zombie utopia that accidentally creates the cure for the zombie virus.
Oh my.
Absolutely wild.
Okay. Like just the amount of variation between all the stories. That's a lot of creativity.
It's so creative. It's so wild. And Space with Markiplier is this on steroids. Like, it is this, like, tripled. There's so much. And then once you get all the endings, there's basically, like, a secret letter in each of the ending names that you have to take, and then you put them in because each ending's numbered, and then it gives you a code to give you the 31st ending with, the box being destroyed, and Mark and you are at the beginning, and you don't remember why you're at the museum. Like, you don't remember why you were going in for this heist.
Oh.
And then it takes you to, after the 31st ending, it takes you to, like, behind the scenes and, like, the bloopers and stuff, which I always enjoy with those kind of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Bloopers are really good in any format.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that is the interactive series, The Heist with Markiplier. Highly recommend you check it out. It is on YouTube.
That's amazing. How long does it take to get through? Like, how long is each little
It was
video
like watching
bit?
like a 2-hour movie.
Okay.
And then Space is like a 3-ish hour endeavor, if you want to see all of it. And then now, because they've been out for so long, I think Space is still, you have to click your way to get, because like you need the a code to get to each video, and that's in the picture that you have to click, because it's like the YouTube where like there's like click on this video or click on this video to see the next one.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to click on it to move on. But Heist has been out long enough that he's released all the videos, so you don't have to keep going through it. Once you've, like, if you've already seen all of it, but you just want to know what the variation is, you can just go find that other ending and watch it now.
Okay.
But Space is still a little bit newer, so I don't think he's done that yet with Space. But there are, like, channels like fandom.com and the Mark's Tumblr and Reddit all have things where you can just kind of, like, follow it out, and so you know which one to click on to get what ending you want.
That's, I mean, quite the endeavor. Choose your own adventure books in general. Like, they just seem difficult to manage, I would say. Like,
right.
Like, how are you writing that book and, like, putting it in order and whatever? Like,
right. No, the undertaking that this must have taken.
Yeah.
Just so much work. And you can tell, like, it's made completely with love, and it's funny. It is so funny. And it's very self-aware and makes a bunch of silly jokes, and 10 out of 10. Do recommend.
Good. Well, maybe if I've got a rainy afternoon, or maybe not a rainy afternoon, you know.
A vibin' day.
Yeah. A vibin' day.
Hang out on the couch, got nothing to do, want to watch some YouTube, recommend.
Got a vibin' day. Oh, and actually, quick update for our listeners. Speaking of vibin' days and watching stuff, I have now seen the first Star Wars movie in its entirety.
She has.
If you remember back to our whatever episode it was that you talked about Star Wars, I've now seen it.
I think it was because it was Revolution. It was episode 45, Revolution, because Allison had not seen it. But I had quoted it in the Moon episode.
Oh.
Which was older, because I was like, that's no moon. And that's when I
I know
that's
that
when
now.
I discovered that you didn't know what a moon, or why that was important.
Now I know all about it. Now I'm a Star Wars expert. I know all of the lore and all of the behind the scenes background and inspirations. I'm Star Wars master.
Of episode 4.
Yeah, totally. So anyway, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to hijack your little bit here by talking about
good.
Star Wars.
It's all good. I'm happy that the listeners know that you are now slightly more cultured.
Perfect. Do you have more to add?
Nope. That's pretty much it, actually. It was a good segue.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Well, I'm going to talk about something completely different, which is a quote.
All right.
Let me find it right here for you. It's two people talking.
Okay.
Voice 1 and voice 2, okay?
All right.
So, voice 1. Thank you. Please wait as your individualized operating system is initiated. Hello, I'm here. Voice 2. Oh, hi. Voice 1. Hi, how are you doing? Voice 2. In parentheses, unsure how to interact. I'm well. How is everything with you? Voice 1. Pretty good, actually. It's really nice to meet you. Voice 2. Yeah, it's nice to meet you too. What should I call you? Do you have a name? And that's it. That's all you get.
Okay. I have one guess.
Okay. Maybe it's right.
I'm not sure if I'm on the mark or not.
We'll see. We'll see at the end.
If you know what it is, listener, hit us up on any of the socials. We've got Instagram, Facebook, X, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Tumblr theoretically is back up.
Oh, really?
But I'm not optimistic.
Okay.
No, I'm not optimistic. It's currently in the process of figuring its life out.
Okay.
But working on it.
What is our status of YouTube videos?
I'm a little behind. Most of them are made, but then my computer died, and now I have to remake them.
So they're not
them.
made then.
They were made. The old computer opted out though.
Oh
So
my! Did not
we're
want
a
to
couple
interact.
episodes behind. No, did not want to interact with me anymore. So it got too mad at me for the amount of Baldur's Gate I was playing. So I'm working on it. We're up to Revolution, I believe, and then I'm in the process of making Danger Through Interactive, which I think is about 10 episodes behind, but we'll get there.
Not that bad. It's not that bad.
No,
we're okay.
We're doing good.
All right.
But they'll be up. But we'd love to hear from you. Use the hashtag Nerd of the Week or hashtag NOTWP to get a hold of us. Yeah.
Do it. All right.
Heck yeah.
Well, I will talk at you about stuff now.
Please do.
Okay. So I am bringing a Disney movie for us. Everyone who said I was a Disney hater, come on. This is like, what, the 6th Disney movie I've brought? I don't think I'm a hater. Anyway.
She just judges them harshly as they deserve.
Yes. And I judge people's singing of the songs of the Disney movies very harshly.
That's fair.
So anyway.
Completely valid. No notes.
The movie is Big Hero 6, which...
Damn, that's what I thought the quote was from.
Oh,
Shit.
really?
Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah. All right, well.
Oh, no. Well, here we are. So anyway, Big Hero 6. It, as I said, Disney movie, but I think it's actually based on a Marvel thing.
I don't know that. I don't know for sure. I only have ever watched the movie.
Okay.
I don't know much beyond the lore of that.
Whatever. I don't know.
Other than I love the personal robot.
The best boy. We'll
He's the
get
best
into him. All right, so starting this plot, and just for reference, I am going off of Wikipedia, so sorry if it's not complete.
We are citing our sources. Thanks, Wikipedia, for getting me through college and occasionally the podcast.
Yep. So anyway, the movie is in a place, a futuristic city called San Francisco, which basically, I think the idea was like there was some continental drift and Japan ran into California and they just like, it's okay. Or San Francisco and Tokyo together now. It's fine.
It's chill.
It's the future.
That would have been handled totally fine by both countries completely.
Right? So anyway, our main character here, his name is Hiro Hadama. He is 14 years old and he has just graduated high school because he's a genius.
Yep.
And his favorite thing is robots. He's one of those kids who's like brilliant, but like totally does not enjoy school. It kind of seems like, because he does robots, but like in an underground illegal robot fighting ring.
I forgot about that bit.
Yeah. And it's like kind of dangerous. Because A, it's illegal, but B, like, there's thugs, and if they don't get their way and his little robots beat their robots, they're gonna beat him up. So he, like, has a few, like, at the beginning to set the scene. Like, it's like a narrow miss of, like, he's almost caught by these guys kind of thing. And he, like, drags himself into his house. And his brother, who's in college at the San Francisco Institute of Technology or something like that. Something that sounds fancy and techie and college-y. He's like, you really...
Not MIT.
Right. But it's essentially that. So he says, you really shouldn't be, fighting your robots. There's so much better that you could be doing with your knowledge. Like, why don't you apply to my university? They would love to have you. And Hero's like, I don't know if I want to. That sounds like really boring. And she's like, why don't you like come stop by my lab and, I'll show you around. You can see if it's something that you might be interested in. So Hero, because he loves his brother, he's like, fine, I'll go to your lab with you. His brother's name is Tadashi, by the way. So Tadashi's like showing him around the lab, and he meets all of Tadashi's cool friends who have interesting names that I will now read. One of their names is Go-Go, and there's Wasabi and Honey Lemon and Fred.
Yep.
Those are names that Disney picked for characters.
Correct.
Yeah.
I could see someone going by like Wasabi, like as like a nickname.
I can also see...
But if your parents named you Wasabi, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. I can see Go-Go as well.
Yeah.
I have a friend whose name is Go, and he's Japanese. So...
Sure.
It's legit. But Honey Lemon? We're not Buffalo Wild Wings here.
Oh no. If anyone's named Honey Lemon, I'm very sorry.
It's a beautiful
you have
name.
A lovely name. Honey's very beautiful. Lemon's very beautiful.
But together, there's a different connotation.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You're not the food you think you are. Anyway, so
God.
they are all like geniuses as well. They all do different things. I don't remember what they all do. I am so sorry. I think Fred is kind of like one of those people they're like not sure what he does, but he hangs out kind of. I know Honey Lemon does something with chemistry. She's like a organic chemist, and kind of getting into it later, but she has this little, like her weapon that she uses essentially. She has this little purse that has little chemical balls in it, and she can like put a combination of them into like the firing rig or whatever, and they combine in a certain way, and she like can make different effects with chemicals essentially. So she can make like not personalized, but like specific use weapons for each use case essentially. So that's her thing. I don't remember anyone else's though. I'm so sorry.
So very wild biological warfare going on. Okay.
Yeah, it's the future. Anyway, Tadashi's big thing that he is working on that he's real excited about, and he's gonna like present it at this big robotics showcase kind of thing, is this inflatable robot called Baymax.
Baymax is the best.
He's the best boy. So Baymax is meant to be a healthcare robot. So like he's like your healthcare assistant or something. So he has all this health knowledge, and he's soft and squishy. Like he's inflatable. He's not meant to be like a tough like kind of robot. He's like, I'm here to help you, and I'm non-threatening. And he's got like this cute little like look on his face the whole time. It just looks like he's kind of like smirking at you. He's very sweet. And he got these big arms that he just kind of like holds down by his side. He's super cute.
He looks like he'd give a really good hug.
Oh yeah, he does. I think that's the idea. He's friend-shaped.
Oh, he is friend-shaped.
And Hero thinks that he's really cool. He's like, wow, this is amazing. Maybe I do actually want to bring my robots here. And so he's invited to apply to the university and also showcase his robot at this like big showcase thing as well. So his really cool robot, Hero, that is, his cool robot, is actually a combination of a bunch of different little robots, like these tiny little droids that can fly around and like combine into any configuration you want them to, and it's somehow also controlled by your mind essentially.
Oh yeah. That old chestnut.
He like wears this little headband, and he can control them, and they can like morph into like this big giant like transformer looking thing, and like that's how he was winning in all of these underground fighting rings, because he could like make his robot exactly the right shape and size and everything to destroy the other ones. So it's like this really powerful thing.
Like adjacent nanotechnology, right?
Yeah. Let's see, that what they call them, microbots. Yes. And it's so impressive that he actually wins some sort of prize and is accepted into the university and everything's great. He's like personally congratulated by Tadashi's professor, Robert Callahan, who will come back later. Okay. Spoiler alert. But suddenly there's a problem. There's a big disaster. It's like some sort of fire that is like real bad in this big exhibit hall. So like just imagine the biggest, worst convention you've ever been to, and suddenly there's a fire. Like, it's bad. So everyone's rushing out, and like everyone, all the friends and Hiro, they all make it out in time. Unfortunately, all the robots are still in there. None of the robots make it out that we know of. And then like Tadashi's like counting everybody, and he's like, wait, where's Callahan? We have to save him. He's still in there. So Tadashi, in one of the most heart-wrenching scenes since the death of Simba's father, he runs back into this building. His baseball cap blows off of his head and lands at Hiro's feet. And Hiro like picks it up, and he's got tears in his eyes, like, you have to come back. Of course he doesn't come back, though. Of course he dies in the fire. And it's just like trauma right at the beginning. Disney loves to do that with movies.
And kill off your role model.
Yeah.
In some horrible, tragic way.
Yeah. So, for obvious reasons, Hiro is distraught. Like, he's lost his
totally
brother.
Valid.
Something as
in
well.
In a horrific way.
Yeah. And like their family structure as well, something has happened to their parents. They live with their aunt. So like this poor boy does not need more trauma in his life. He is devastated, and he decides he doesn't want to enroll at the university because of this. And also like all but one of his little bots were destroyed somehow in the fire as well. One day he's like in his room, you know, just being sad, as he's going to be at this point. There's nothing for him to do in this world, he thinks. He discovers that Tadashi's robot, oh my gosh, Tadashi's robot, Baymax. That's difficult to say.
A little bit of a tongue twister there.
Was actually in the room the whole time. He hadn't actually been in the fire at all, so he survived. And he just like turns him on, and Baymax is like, hello, I am your personal healthcare assistant. How may I assist you today? And Hiro's like, you can't help me. And Baymax is like, I sense that you're sad and you're experiencing signs of depression. This can often happen after the loss of a loved one or close family member. And, you know, just like going on saying like this very clinical, like medical stuff. And then he goes like, treatments for depression include interacting with friends and family. And Hiro's like, I don't want to interact with anybody. And Baymax is like, I'm calling your friends right now. So he has like all the contact information for all of the friends at the lab. And like he sends out a message that's like, Hiro's not feeling well. Please come and give him company, or something like that. And they're such good people. They all come over and say hi. Like they bring over food and like show him cool stuff that they've been working on. Like they make him feel welcome, and it's all so nice. Aww. And he's like, oh yeah, I guess I do kind of feel better. There's also, gosh, I don't remember exactly what precipitates the scene or what the point of it is, but somehow he has to like take Baymax somewhere. And Baymax just being so big, he like gets stuck in all these doorways, and he's this inflatable thing, so he can't like get punctured by anything. But I think he can also like heal himself. Like he has like repair strips or something, so if he gets punctured, he can like just slap something back on and reinflate. But it's basically like shenanigans of, I have a big robot and I'm taking him around this giant city that he is not made to operate in.
Right.
It's very cute. And again, I don't remember where that scene actually shows up. I'm so sorry. It's been a while since I've seen this movie. Like it came out in 2014, 10 years ago now. And I think that was when I saw it. Yeah.
Soul.
Oh my goodness. But anyway, then like the nanobot. Oh, I think that's what it is. The nanobot like suddenly started like levitating and moving, and so they're going chasing that around the city. That makes sense. I think that's what it was. So it leads them to this like old abandoned looking warehouse, and they find all the other nanobots are there. So they weren't destroyed in the fire.
Gasp.
They were stolen, and the fire was a cover-up. So naturally, Hiro becomes very angry about that because his brother
I would be too.
died for nothing. Exactly. There's also like this mysterious masked figure that is the villain of the story. They don't know who he is at this point, but they're like, we got to get that guy and we got to get the nanobots back. And so they kind of like are able to track him, and he like gets a plan together with the friends. And this is where like Honey Lemon's thing comes in with the chemistry bombs. I don't know what to call them, where basically she's going to help to like neutralize any threats, and like Baymax is going to be there to protect everybody. And I don't know what all the other friends do. I'm really sorry, I don't remember.
Some form of super power that's cohesive to everybody else in some capacity.
Exactly. They all have the one key thing that's needed for the situation.
Friendship.
Yay. The power of friendship and magic. Or science. Friendship and science.
There you go.
So anyway, are able to like get this guy, this masked guy, and they shoot him down basically and unmask him, and oh my gosh, it's Callahan, the professor.
Shocked.
And they're like, it was you did this. And he's like, I had to do this because I needed to get the nanobots, because I have to defeat my arch nemesis, who's this like billionaire science guy who's been working on time travel. And the reason that he has to defeat this guy is because this random time travel guy, his lab assistant was Callahan's daughter, and she got put through this time portal never to be seen again. So he thinks she's dead. So
I forgot how wild of a fever dream the plot of this movie
yeah,
is.
it's crazy. These people are insane. But so anyway, they're like, okay, well, that's no good. Maybe we can get her back. Like literally this guy caused a fire that killed Tadashi, and they're like, now we're gonna help you. Like
Literally could have just asked Tadashi. Tadashi was a nice man.
Yeah. Like he did not need to die. He was best boy. He and Baymax. No wonder he created Baymax. He's so good, and Baymax is so good. Actually, I think there's like something encoded within Baymax that is like a message to Hiro from Tadashi that says something like, hey little bro, I made this robot for you, I hope you like him. Like he wasn't like obviously intending to die, but he just like this nice little message to Hiro, and like he finds it one day and like he did care for me. Like he knew he did. I don't the plot again convoluted, but it's like really sweet there. So anyway, going back to the whole villain plot here, several times,
the fever dream.
Yes, several times during this, Hiro has gotten like angry, and Baymax has had to like cut him or talk him down from the ledge, essentially, of like, you can't turn into an evil person. That's not you. We have to be good. And like, it's against Baymax's codes to be bad. He's meant to be helping.
Baymax was made so that Hiro wouldn't have a villain origin story.
Exactly. Baymax prevents the villainy. However, because Hiro's also a genius, he has coded a secret special code card for Baymax that allows him to kill. So he removes Baymax's healthcare card and puts in the kill card instead. And he's like, Baymax, you have to kill this man. So it's this whole thing of like Baymax, he doesn't want to do it because something in him is like, but that's not what I meant to do, but I'm being told to do it. And so like Baymax is personified, even though he's a robot, and like he has feelings too somehow. And that's just a weird thing to think about. But anyway, basically they're able to find that Callahan's daughter is still alive. She's like in some sort of cryopreservation in this whatever portal thing that the genius has made.
Yeah, okay, sure.
And
makes sense.
Right before Baymax like kills these guys, Honey Lemon is able to do something that gets the right card back into him, so he turns neutral and nice again. And he's like, okay, I'm not going to kill these guys. And Hero's like, no, but you have to. And they're like, no, we can save everybody. It's fine. So Baymax, the only way to do it, they're like kind of being sucked into this portal. And the only way that they can get Abigail out is if like Baymax goes in and uses a rocket launcher to launch her out. But then Baymax is going to get stuck in the portal himself. And he's like, I meant to help people, so I'll sacrifice myself. I'm just a robot. It's okay.
No,
and it's
you're
not
more than just a robot.
You're not. You're the last memory of Tadashi. You have to stay. So that's a real sad moment. But Abigail gets out, and she and Callahan are reunited, and he's not a villain anymore.
Okay.
And I mean, Hero, he's like still trying to cope with all of this loss that he has.
Right.
Like there's nothing that you can console this poor boy with because the poor boy with because he's lost everything. Like everything that ever meant anything to him. I mean, I guess he has his friends still, but it's not the same. Like he
the
just
parents
met
are not
them.
in the program or in the picture, right?
No,
I think they died.
Yeah,
or
they
something.
did. Yeah, because he lives with
Disney likes to kill off people's parents too.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't see that. That's just like a fact about him is that his parents are not there. But I think this is when he's sulking in his room again, and he like is going through just like some boxes, and he finds this like prototype card of Baymax, or like it was like a backup save card or something that like with cloud storage he was able to keep all of his memories. And so
the power of the cloud,
right? So he like plugs it into his computer, and Baymax's voice comes out, and he's like, hello, Hero, I'm all here. And then he like rebuilds him and like just the same way, and it's so cute. And I think he actually like puts Tadashi's hat on his head at some point too.
He does.
Oh, it's so sweet. And so he kind of like learns to accept his loss and work through it in a healthier way because he gets Baymax back.
You know.
Yeah.
Like most people dealing with grief, it's fine.
Yeah. So that's all I really have to say about Big Hero 6. It's one of those movies where it's like, I don't know how I feel about it.
That's fair. I just like Baymax mostly.
He's such a good boy.
He's a good noodle.
Like, I hate that they have to kill so many people who are good characters. Like, it makes me sad. Tadashi didn't deserve it. He was a good boy.
He was. He did not deserve the fate he was given.
But anyway, so that's my interactive healthcare robot story.
We stand Baymax, if not the movie. But, you know, it's fine.
I think they've made a short with Baymax in it.
I think there's a bunch on Disney Plus for shorts with Baymax of just shenanigans. There's like one where he's making coffee or something, just doing shenanigans.
Oh, there's another little scene with him. This is actually in the movie where Hero has a cat and he tries to interact with the cat, but he doesn't know what a cat is because he's a human healthcare provider. And he's like, it's a baby. It's a fuzzy baby.
He's not wrong.
Which is really cute. And I think the cat like scratches him with his claws, and that's when he like starts deflating and he is able to fix himself again. It's really funny.
God, a veterinarian Baymax would have to be like led from all the grumpy kitties.
To be an invincible person and not mind if I was bit by animals in my line of work.
Right.
Well, that's food for thought.
Delightful food for thought.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about Big Hero 6, or should I go back to my quote?
Let's go back to your quote, which I thought was Big Hero 6, so I'm in trouble.
Okay. Oops. I'm glad you were thinking that way, though. This is good. And actually, I almost, the movie this is from, I almost brought it for this, but then I remembered Big Hero 6, and like, it has a slightly more uplifting plot to it.
That's fair.
I guess think of it that way. It's similar, but maybe a little sadder if you can think of other things that are like Big Hero 6. It's not Disney. It's not a Disney movie. I'll give you that hint from the bat. So anyway, here we go. Cool. Voice 1. Thank you. Please wait as your Oh my gosh, I tripped over that in the same place the first time. Let me try again. Thank you. Please wait as your individualized operating system is initiated. Hello, I'm here. Voice 2. Oh, hi. Voice 1. Hi, how are you doing? And then parentheses, unsure how to interact. The only reason I'm putting that in is because it has the word in it. So anyway, I'm well. How is everything with you? Voice 1. Pretty good, actually. It's really nice to meet you. Voice 2. Yeah, it's nice to meet you too. What should I call you? Do you have a name?
Okay. Depressing Big Hero 6. Is it live action?
It is.
Okay. Is it the one where the guy, like, dates the robot?
Yes, it is. It's called Her.
Oh, God. Her. Yes. Okay. I've never actually seen this movie.
Yeah, it's like, it's kind of depressing.
Yeah, but I've seen, like, all the commercials for it, and I'm like, this looks sad.
Yeah. So, yeah, I almost brought that one because it was another, like, interacting with a computer as though it were a human kind of thing.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I think that was, it was actually, I think it came out around the same time as Big Hero 6, actually.
Did it really?
Let me look that up real quick. Yeah, because it was 2013. Big Hero 6 was 2014.
Oh, jeez.
And now look at us with AI taking over the world.
Right. It's fine. Everything's fine.
We are not a tech podcast. We don't have to talk about this.
Just our AI generator telling us things about how she's totally not going to dominate the world or anything.
She
it's fine.
promised she wouldn't.
It's true. She did.
We
right,
made
generator?
her pinky swear with her, non-existent pinkies. Wait, how did she do it? Oh, no.
It's a Fae loophole. If she doesn't have pinkies, she can't pinky swear.
Oh. Generator, can you promise us on your voice that you will not do this?
I promise I will not take over the world at this time.
All right, she promised.
All right. Okay. Everything's fine now. No one goes on the internet and tells lies.
Yeah, no one ever.
No one ever. Speaking to the generator, what is our next word, please? Thank you.
The next word is houseplant.
Houseplant. That's surprisingly adorable for the context of the conversation we were just having.
Yes, I know exactly what I'm bringing, and I'm so pleased because I've been waiting to bring this. I've been waiting for the perfect time, and this
and
is
houseplant
it.
is the perfect time.
This is it.
Excellent. I'm excited to hear. So I think we're at the end of the podcast. With some mild revelations about making sure not to pinky promise to things that don't have pinkies.
Yeah.
And
the first rule of anything.
First rule of anything. Monitor. It's just like Feywild rules. Monitor AI the same way. You got to make sure their faces look okay, count the fingers, all those things. Very important. But thanks for getting to the end of the podcast and the shenanigan energy that we had tonight. Hopefully you enjoyed, and if you did, leave a review on like Spotify or Google Playlists or that, and
leave a
share
review
with a friend.
on like Spotify or like YouTube, like a Google Play.
We're not very good influencers.
Sorry. I am not a very good influencer. That was a little drawn out. That wasn't exactly the Valley Girl. I didn't do a good job.
No,
I'm sorry.
But we'd appreciate it, and even if you just share or just be like 5 stars. These chicks are funny sometimes. Haha. Like 10 out of 10. We appreciate it.
Haha.
Haha. And
and
so,
share it with a friend.
And that thing. All right, thank you. I was gonna start that as always. I'm Stephanie,
and I am Allison.
And this was Nerd of the Week. And remember to not let Big Wall get in your way. Goodbye.
Goodbye.